In this video, we're going to learn about the Python condition. Let me start a new notebook and let's get started. New IPython 3. Okay, let's rename it as So what is condition? Is basically if you want to do something when certain condition satisfied, then we use the condition. So to give you an example, let's say I have a variable called age. The age of a person. Now let's say I want to print if the person is adult when the age is above 18, or I want to print the person is child. Let's say. So the way to do it is let's do if age greater than or equal to, this is the symbol for to check greater than or equal to 18, print adult, else use colon. Now if I hit shift option and enter, you see it's printing adult because the age is above 18. If I do keep the age as 16, let's say, you see it's printing child. Now please consider this is the syntax for doing it. So it's if there's a condition, this value evaluates to true or false. It is a boolean, and use a colon, and when you enter it has to be indented. If for example if you do it like that, it won't work. So keep that in mind. When you are working on Jupyter Notebook, it will automatically take care of that. But yeah, you need to have this indentation. Now move further. Now let's say I want to also print if the person is a teenager or not. So for example, if his or her age is more than 13, I want to print teenager. How can I do it? So for that, the syntax is, that means we want to do else if. So the syntax is elif. I can put another condition, say age greater than or equal to 13, then print teenager. So now what we did is we said elif age is greater than or equal to 13, print teenager. Otherwise, so I'd say else print child. Now let's look at this. Now because I gave the age as 16, it's printing teenager. Let's say if I give it age 12, it's printing child. If I give age 20, prints adult. Now let's moving further. Let's say now I also want to see whether the person is infant or not. So for that I can create another loop that will be elif. Then I would say age greater than or is equal to 5. Then I would print child. Otherwise I would print infant. Now let's see the age is 3. You see it's printing infant. So you get the point. So basically you can create as many loop as you want, and syntax is this age. So basically this condition. Now if you just want to see if you just want to print this, see the status of this, basically age greater than 18. You see this is false. So that means this condition always evaluates to true or false. So you can do it like that. Let's say I create a variable called myBool is equal to false. Now if I want to do it, if myBool print true, else print false. Now see, because it is false, it is printing false. Now if I change it to true, it's printing true. Now this is optional. Optionally, you could also compare like this. You can say equal to true. Then it's exactly same because by default it's comparing with true or false. Now, so in order to do this condition and check, there is some syntax. For example, I want to see whether a variable a equal to 2 equal to 2. So the syntax is this: a equal to 2. Now it's giving me error because there's no variable called a. Now let's say I do a is equal to 3. So this is my assignment, and second one is comparison. So now it's a false because a is actually 3. Now if I do it like that, it's printing true. Let's take another example. Suppose I want to print whether a number is even or odd depending on the value of this number. So I assign number is equal to 10. Now let's say I want to check if num. Remember that during modular division we try to find out when there is any residual or not. For a even number, if you want to do a modular division with 2, the residual should be 0. That means it should be divided by 2. Then only we call this number as boolean. So the way to do that is I say num modular division equal to 0, print even, else print odd. Okay, now because 10 is divisible by 2, it's printing even. Now if I make it as 11, now you see it's odd. So yeah, that is as simple as that. So in order to write any condition, this is what you have to do. So you can do basically you evaluate to a condition. If that condition satisfied, it prints this. Otherwise, if you want to evaluate another condition, continue elif as long as you want, or you need to do it. Okay, and of course else is optional. For example, if I just want to see whether I don't care whether I have to print even, odd or not. Let's say I just want to check if num modulo division 2 equal to 0, print even. Now the number is actually 11. If I change this number, let's say I change the number equal to 10. So see, it's printing even, but if the number is something else, if it is not even, it's not printing anything because I didn't have the else block. So else block is optional. So yeah, that's it for the condition. Now let's move on, looping. Okay, remember that we had something called range, which we have done. Now let's say I want to print a number from 1 to 10. How we can do it? We can do it like that. See, there's a syntax for I. Let's say we want to print the value from 1 to 10. The way we can do it, for I in range 10, print I. So it is printed from 0 to 9. Now let's say I want to print from 1 to 10. So way I can do it, it's a range from 1 to 11, then it would print 10. So the thing is, inside range, this is the start, this is the end, and this is your step again. Okay, so the default step is 1. You can do it like that. If you want to print alternate number, you can add the steps as 2. So this is how it will print. Now let's say I want to print all odd numbers. So this is what it would print. If you skip the first one, it would start from 0. So then, yeah, if you keep 0 as first position, then it would print. Basically, if you skip this, then the first one will be the starting point and the last one should be the ending point. That's how Python would. Okay, now moving on. Now, similar to our list slicing, here we can also go into the reverse direction. For example, I want to print the even number in the reverse order. The way we can do is, when we are going reverse, my step will be negative. Now my starting point will not be 0 because in that case we can't go anything. So my starting point should be 21 and ending point should be 0 and steps is 2. So this will print reverse order. Now let's say I want to print all the numbers in the reverse order. So I would just say -1. So you get the point. If you want to print every third number, then you can use the steps as -3. So this way you can proceed. Now let's do something about text. Okay, so the looping is not restricted to numbers. You can do a lot of many operations in text, in list, in many other way. So for example, let me try to create a list of text. So I'll just copy some text. Okay, so here is, let's say this is my text. Now, the string has a built-in function called split, which we'll learn later on, but let me just use it now. Split. If I just split it, it will create a list of all the words in this text. So let's say I create this as list text. Now let's say I want to print all the words in this list. Okay, how we can do it is, in fact, I don't even need this. I can just simply do like that. Okay, I say for lst txt of my text. Let's say I want to create a dictionary where key will be by this word and it will have the number. Let's say I want to give this as number starting with 0 and then the number of 0, 1, so on. Okay, so how we can do it, which is, we can do it in a multiple different way. Let's say I want to do a simple for loop. Okay, let's say for text in list text. First of all, I want to create a dictionary. Let's say my dictionary name is this word text. Okay, and this is how we can initiate the dictionary, as we have learned in our last lecture. Now let's say I want to create a variable I is equal to 0, and then I will increment I as soon as I've done it. So now I want to create this word dictionary. The key for this dictionary will be text, and value will be this value I. Once we have done that, let's increment I. So you can say I is equal to I plus 1. That's how we can increment I. And if we run it, okay, now if we have a look at our word dictionary, it's creating this dictionary and basically creating a number for each of this dictionary. There's another way to do this though, another easier way and preferred way is, instead of creating these variables and incrementing it, we can do it automatically. There's a built-in function called enumerate. Okay, so we'll learn about this built-in function when we discuss about functions in more details. But for now, look at that. This is how we can do it. So enumerate will also create an index of every values in the list. So just it like that for index text, and if I instead of I just assign it to index, and I don't need to increment. Python automatically does that for us. Now let's look at word dictionary now. You see, we got the same results in slightly easier and cleaner way, and this is the preferred way to do it. Now let's say I want to do it in a reverse order. Let's say I want to create a dictionary where keys will be 0 and the values will be the word. How we can do it is very simple. We just, it's almost same, we just interchange the keys and value. So instead of this, now I give index as key and values as text. So I create this as word dictionary 1 to distinguish. If I now see word dictionary 1, okay, yeah, so I made a mistake, so it has to be word dictionary 1. Okay, now let's have some fun. Now let's say there's a nice property of the print function. Okay, so let's say I want to print or any letter multiple times. Let's say I want to print @ symbol 10 times. The way to do it, I can do it like star and then number 10. See, it has printed @ 10 times. So you can do it with any letter. Okay, it works. Not only that, if you want to print your name 10 times, that also works. Okay, if you want to keep a space there, it works. It's as simple as that. Okay, now let's have fun with our loop. Let's say I want to print star. If I create a loop just like that for I in range 20. Okay, let's say I want to print I with I want to print star with the times as I. What I mean by that is as simple as that. If I print star and then if I multiply it with I, what it would do? You see, the I varies from 0 to 19. So first line it did not print star. Next line it print 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, like that. So it has created a triangle like that. Now let's say I want to print a pyramid-like structure with the help of just this for loop. Let's see what is the power of this for loop. Okay, we don't need to learn any other fancy thing. Just with this looping, we can do that. So the way to do it is, okay, first let us loop through same range for I in range 20. Okay, so we have to print few things. Okay, so before I move on, I want to just show you one thing, another property of print. So let's say you want to print 3 or 4 items together. Okay, let's say I want to print 2, 3, 4, 5 and 7. So all of these parameters, see, it's printing everything space separated. Okay, so Python automatically takes care of. Now in order to print our case, so if you want to print a pyramid like that, basically all I want is I want a star on this side and star on that side, so that it creates a triangle, it creates a pyramid. So that means we know that first we have to print some space here, then we need to print some star, and then we need to print some more space, and the value of this space and star will change. So basically as we move on, we are going to print more of a star and less of a space. So way to do that is, now in order to print that, what we can do is we can just print some space, that is space. Now we want to multiply, and we know at the beginning there will be more space, so we can do 20 minus I. So this will be the number of space we want to print, star multiplied by 2 times I, okay, because we want it to be symmetry, okay, 2 times I. Then we want to print similar, because it's symmetry. Again we want to print same space basically, so it will be same star, then in bracket 20 minus I. Okay, so if I just do it, you see we got what we are expecting. So yeah, we can do many more things with for loop. We can do many more things, but I'd stop. And our next session is coming up functions. Just couple more points about loop. One is called continue and break. Okay, so the way it works is, let's try to understand this concept with an example. Let's say I have a list. Okay, my list contains some numbers. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to 4, 5. Then let's say it also contains some text. Let's say test. Let's say I have few more numbers, 12, 45, 67, etc. Now let's say it has another text called end. Okay, then after that we have few more numbers, 30, 40, etc. Now let's say my requirement is this, that I want to print only the numbers. Basically whenever there is no numbers or any other text, let's say I'll take one more text here, say name. Okay, now so my requirement is this, I want to print only the numbers and I want to skip all the text. Okay, and also I want to stop scanning when I find this end, when I find the end. Now how can I do it? So as usual, I'm gonna create a new loop. Say I'll say item in list. Okay, so I'm just scanning through all the items, then I'm just telling. Okay, so the thing here is, first we have to skip. So we have to skip any text. We have to print only numbers, but we'll skip all text. How we can do it? How do I know the item is kind of string or not? Very simple, as we have learned last time. We can do type. We'll just check if type of the item equal to str. So that is the data type of string. Then we want to skip it. We don't want to print it. So the way to do it is continue. Just say continue. Now another thing is, now also we have to check if the number is end, then we have to stop it. So basically I think I would do this first. First I would say if the item equal to end, then I'm going to exit out of the loop. The command for that is break. Okay, now you can keep it, but it's better to keep it elif for better performance, because otherwise elif, I say if the item type is string, then continue, and else, basically, yeah, I can go else, or I can skip it. I can say else print item. Okay, so what's going on here? First I'm checking whether the item, I'm just scanning through all the items, and if the item is end, I'm breaking it. Else if the item is of type string, I'm skipping it. Else I'm just printing it. Okay, let's run it and see what happens. Okay, I missed the colon here and it has to be indented. Yep. So now look at what happened. So it just printed 1, 2, 3, 5, then it skipped text, test and name, and then it printed 12, 45, 67. But now as soon as we reached end, it just stopped printing. So 30 and 40 it did not print. Okay, so I think it's clear. Now another thing we have to discuss here is about while loop. We have another kind of loop that's called a while loop. So instead of for, we just type while, and then let's say I have a number number is equal to 10. Okay, now I have to give a condition here. I say if number less than or equal to 10, print the number. But if I just run it, the number is, because the number value is not changing and number is equal to 2, so it will continuously run. So you have to do something. You have to think about it, how to exit out of this loop. Now what you can do, you can reduce the number. Okay, just see number is equal to number minus 1. So that means after it prints 10, the number becomes 9, then it prints 9 and it goes on. I think I have to change this condition because this condition is always going to be less than 10. So what I can do is I can say number greater than or equal to 0. So that means as soon as the number is positive, it will print. So let's try to run it. So you got it, it's printing the number until 0. If I just give it greater than 0, it will print until 1. Now let's say you want to exit out of the loop when the number reaches 5. How we can do it? Yeah, you can use the break. So what do you see? If num equal to 5, then I say break. Okay, so you see it's printing the number. When number become 5, it break. Okay, if you want to print the number, basically all you can do, you can use this condition before you print. Okay, that means first I'm checking if the number is 5, break, otherwise just like that. Okay, so I hope you like it. If you like it, please hit the like button here. Please consider subscribing my channel, and also please click on the bell button so that as soon as I upload a new video, you will be notified.